begin in 2 minutes. We ask that you all make your way into the auditorium and please take a seat. And by 2 minutes, I mean 2 Army minutes, so that could be 30 seconds from now. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for attending this Women's Veteran Town Hall and Resource Fair. I'd like to ask everyone now, if capable, please stand and for the posting of the colors by National Women's Veteran United and the playing of the national anthem. Colors, post.
Permission to post colors.
Permission granted.
Ready? Post. Ready? Post. Left. Ace. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. Left.
Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to everyone Cook County Board President, President Tony Preckwinkle.
Good morning, everybody. I want to begin by acknowledging my colleague who is here, Commissioner Donna Miller, who's Chair of Veterans Affairs. We hope to be joined shortly by other commissioners, Tara Stamps, whose district we're in, Commissioner Lowry and Commissioner Aguilar. Hopefully they'll be joining us shortly. We also have video messages from Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth. We know, of course, that Tammy is a veteran. To all of our elected officials, I want to thank you for your support for this event and your efforts to assist our veterans who reside in Cook County. I would also like to thank our partners, Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs Terry Prince, U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Director of the Center for Women's Veterans, Lourdes Tiglaho. Is that close? Pretty good. Okay. All right, City of Chicago Veterans Affairs Director Kevin Barchez, close to. All right. National Women Veterans United President Rochelle Crump. Executive Clerk of Court Operations for the Clerk of the Court, Carmen Gurcone. I'd also like to thank the representatives of the offices of Congressman Jonathan Jackson, the National ABLE Network, the Illinois Department of Employment Security, and the many veteran service organizations who are here with us today. Finally, I'm grateful to Major Love and our team from the County's Bureau of Administration for helping plan the very first Women Veterans Town Hall, Resource, and Employment Fair. Thank you all. This is the end of Women's History Month, and it's a way for us to honor women in our community who've served in the armed forces. We're grateful. More than 3 million women have played a vital role in America's armed forces since the founding of our nation. From the Revolutionary War, when women traveled alongside the men to boost their morale, and actually I think General Washington had his wife with him on a number of campaigns. Women tended to wounds and mended clothes. They were disguised as men who wore arms in the Civil War. Women also played important roles in World War I and II, as well as the Vietnam and Korean Wars, and we thank all of you again for your service. Women's service has continued to increase in capacity and numbers as our nation entered the Gulf War and, of course, wars in the Middle East. Today, 17.5%, almost 18% of active duty military personnel and close to 22% of our reserves and National Guard forces are women. Throughout our nation's history, women have answered the call to serve and broken barriers to earn their spot in combat units. These women are logisticians, rangers, nurses, military intelligence service members, pilots, lawyers, and so many other occupations that support and defend our nation. To all the women who've served, you've given so much to our country and our county. And in this event, we're just trying to help you and give back to you. In addition to recognize your contributions, we're also pleased to give you this platform to share your stories of service and sacrifice. We want to thank you for both and want you to know that you're appreciated and supported. Thank you. And now I'd like to bring to the podium the chair of our Veterans Affairs Committee. I think the first woman to hold that post, Donna Miller. Commissioner Donna Miller.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's great to be here and welcome all of the veterans and especially our women veterans. I want to thank President Preckwinkle for that introduction and our Director of Veterans Affairs, Dee Love, and all the other distinguished guests who are here today. And I am proud to be the first woman chair of the Veterans Committee. As well, I just wanted to say, how many women veterans are here with us today? Raise your hand. All right. Well, thank you all again for your service. I did grow up in the military. I always say I was born at Fort Dix, New Jersey. So any of you know Fort Dix, it's really a fun place, right? But my father is a Vietnam veteran. He's a retired colonel in the Army. So I grew up with a sense of duty and service, and so I appreciate all of the service from all of you. And just as women were not part of the fabric of so many institutions, they've always been a part of the military. Growing up, I also lived at West Point at a time when women were not allowed as students at West Point, and got to see that transition over time and how people had to get used to women being around, right? And people had to get used to saying that their fellow students were also women. So thank you for honorably answering the call to serve our nation. And being in service means that you leave your post, and when you become a veteran, it's our obligation as a nation to serve you by ensuring that you have all of the resources that you and your families need. So thank you for all of you who are here to provide those resources as well. At Cook County, we place a priority on serving our veterans by having the Cook County Veterans Affairs Department and the Veterans Assistance Commission of Cook County, which reviews existing programs to not only women veterans, but all veterans. These unique programs, such as the Chicago Cook Tech Academy that provides veterans with critical career skills in technology or any industry, or honor grants. It seeks to expand programming offered by nonprofit organizations that serve the veterans of Cook County, like today's first ever Women's Veterans Town Hall Resource and Employment Fair. We have all different levels of government partnering to bring these resources here to our active and veteran service women. There are just a few examples of how we're working to ensure that veterans get the services they need. And as was already mentioned by President Preckwinkle, as we come to the end of Women's History Month, I challenge us to change the way we treat and view women in the military and women veterans who have unique needs and challenges, but without whom this country wouldn't enjoy the freedoms we hold dear. We know that the sacrifices that our veterans in uniform make to their families, and their families make, and we want to support them because it's a sacrifice that's really an important gift to our country. And I want to thank again all the women who are veterans who are here today. You have blazed a trail for the women who will serve after you, and we owe you a deep debt of gratitude. And I hope today's event will be beneficial for you and your families. So thank you for having me here, and I look forward to a great day. So next, we will introduce Carmen Garcon, the Executive Clerk of Court Operations for the Clerk of the Circuit Court. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Carmen Navarro-Dracone. I'm the Executive Clerk for Court Operations. I did put some notes, but I'm also smart enough to know that when you speak after Madam President and her history of being a history teacher, there's not much else I can tell you about the history of women in the military. So, what I do want to tell you is that in my job, in the court system, it's my job, first of all, to work to honor you for the work and the sacrifices you've given to this country, to make sure that those sacrifices that you bring back home with you, what you carry with you every day here, if you find yourself involved in a criminal justice system, it's our job to help you through that system, to make sure there aren't additional barriers for you if you become involved in the justice system, to make sure that if you're looking for work, housing, mental health, that our court system is there to assist you in that transition. You've sacrificed so much that to come home and have those barriers in place, you deserve for government to be there every step of the way to help you, because you've given so much and continue to give. So I just wanted to tell you it was an honor to be here amongst all of you who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice. You carry a burden every day that I could never understand. Yet you come back home and continue to serve your country in government, in the public education system, your families, and that is hard to do. And so I just want to make sure that you know that we continue to do our part to assist where we can. And it is truly an honor to even be amongst you in this room today. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know what else to say to you. It really is overwhelming looking out at the room when you were asked to raise your hand if you were veterans. and just to share the space with you is amazing. So thank you for your sacrifices. I appreciate you. That's all the time I'm going to take because we really want to celebrate you and make sure you get what you came for and the resources you deserve. It is my honor to introduce Terry Prince, who I think besides me is the only other really morning person I've ever met, and I just met him, the Director for the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs.
I'll do my best to keep it short. I've never met a microphone I didn't like, some of you know. So this is really an awesome opportunity to see some old friends and new friends. I've been in this role literally 3 years as of April 1st coming up. And one of the big challenges for the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs is to get veterans out into these events, to these organizations. Our mission at IDVA is to provide services in multiple spaces, including benefits and compensation through the federal VA, our state approving authority that does education, our veterans homes, our Veterans Cash Lottery program, and many other areas, working together with over 2,000 organizations in the state of Illinois to get the services into the brains, arms, and hearts of our veterans. Today's event is an opportunity for you to see that actual outreach. What we challenge ourselves and each other to do is to get people to come to the event, moreover to get to where they are. Coming to Malcolm X College, a famous place that did homelessness studies and work here and other places, is coming to where the veterans are. We're just down the street from one of the largest VA medical centers in the world. And so having an opportunity to serve Cook County veterans through our mission of people, operational excellence, and most importantly, the veteran experience. I live with a woman veteran, so I hear about it every single day. Those of you who have met Jennifer Prince know I get letters from my own wife. And you don't want to get a letter from your wife. Dear Director Prince, you can call me Terry, it's okay. Because she and I see the challenges and we want to bring that experience. I want every veteran who served to get the same opportunities that I have. You shouldn't have to be a senior official or someone in charge of something to have the good phone number. This event is really an attack on the scourge of society, ladies and gentlemen, and that is suicide for our veterans. If this event saves a single life, we have done more than we would have ever done without each other. And so I'm committed to that charge. That's what drives me every day. If you grab someone and say, I know you weren't there today, but there are life-changing opportunities outside this room. And we need to take advantage of that and let people know that it isn't as difficult as it might be. And if you don't consider yourself a veteran, then you're someone who served. Let's do this. Because it's that important. I've got teammates here from IDVA. I've got our new Women Veterans Program Coordinator, Margot Watson, and two of our VSOs, Cynthia McKee and Michelle, who I never even call by her last name. Says, hey, Michelle. There you are. These people can change lives. One of our veteran service officers worked for years with a veteran and ultimately got them nearly $500,000 in back pay for VA benefits. That's life-changing money. And 100% disability, that's $4,000 plus per month, plus medical care, and the list goes on and on. The benefits in Cook County are so incredible, it's an opportunity for us to attract veterans. So thank you for being here today and giving me a chance to speak. I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. And now I get the distinct pleasure of introducing someone who travels more than I do. And we're the same height, you can tell when she gets up here. Her name is Lourdes Tiglop. She's the Executive Director of the United States Department of Veterans Affairs Women Veterans Program and Air Force veteran as well. So, Lourdes.
I need a ladder for that high five. First of all, thank you so much for having me, and it really does warm my heart to see so many of our colleagues, our friends, being here to make sure that women veterans are going to receive the services and benefits that they've not only deserved, but they've earned this. They've earned this by making sure that our nation is safe by wearing the cloth. For the Center for Women Veterans, where I sit, I'm the executive director for Center. This is actually our 30th year. We were created back in 1994 to make sure that the women veterans across the nation receives the benefits and the services they've gotten in an equitable fashion. We've revamped our mission specifically to make sure that women veterans receive equitable outcomes and access to the services and benefits that they have earned and deserve, both through education, outreach, and collaboration. And collaboration, you know, this is why you're here. We cannot do this alone. VA is not the panacea for everything. It takes a whole of society approach to make sure that women veterans are able to receive the care, the benefits that they have earned. We can't be everywhere, but you are. You as the fabric of our community, you are in the rural areas, in the urban areas, in those schools, in those PTA meetings, in the colleges, in the factories. Beside you, how many times have you asked any of your colleagues, have you served? One of the biggest hurdles that we have for women veterans right now is to get them to self-identify as a veteran for many reasons, whether it's institutional betrayal, whether it's a negative experience in the military and they translated that to the VA, whether it is a negative experience with VA. And I mean, I'm here working for VA, but not very long ago, a little bit over 10 years ago, I was one of the biggest critics of VA. So I'm here speaking to you not just as an employee, but also as someone who has used VA, was originally disappointed by my care back then. But now I'm here as a champion for VA because I have seen the difference, the change, the evolution of how much they are working, we are working to make sure that women veterans are served in the best way possible. I always say that it takes a whole society approach to make sure that women veterans are served in the best way possible. And VA is one part of it. Our NGOs, our MSOs, our community partners, the private sector, our local, county, state, federal government working together in this particular event is a testament to our united effort to make sure that women veterans are served in the best way possible. There's over 2 million women veterans across the nation. There's only less than 1 million that's right now accessing health care. And a big part of that is that self-identification. So I challenge you, as you go through the communities after this event, as you go through your weeks, your days, your months, I challenge you, find the women veterans in the spaces where you might not think. It's easy to get them to come to a place if they've already self-identified. It's harder to get them when they don't see themselves as a veteran. And so I challenge you as you go to those spaces later on in the future. And finally, one of the last things that I'll ask, for those, raise your hand again if you're a woman veteran. Right? Okay, great. Tell your stories. There are a variety of ways to tell your stories. The Military Women's Memorial is one of them. The Library of Congress Veterans History Project. And then I don't know how many of you know about MCA, the Veterans Legacy Memorial. It is a way to make sure that your story and your voice is heard even before you have passed, to start that story. Why is this important? In the Veterans History Project, there's over 100,000 stories, only less than 10,000 are women veterans. This shows the disparity of how much we still have to go to make sure that women veterans see themselves as part of our community. And lastly, a quick pop quiz. How many airports do you think are named after women, just in general? How many? I hear none. A lot of mumbles. Okay. 1.5. 1.5. We, as a society, it's certainly not because women haven't contributed to aeronautics or aviation, but it is a testament to how society looks at the contributions and sacrifices of women. And I say this just as an example that it's not just, within the veteran community, it is a society of how we look at those contributions. And so I challenge you as you go out today, as you talk to women veterans, as you talk to your sister veterans out there, like, how much and what are we doing to uplift those stories, to acknowledge those sacrifices and contributions? Again, it takes a whole of society approach. It takes everyone here It takes great partners with a concerted effort to make sure that women veterans' voices are heard, that they are connected to those services and benefits. And I thank you, all of you. There's a lot of times that you can make more of time, but time is one thing that we can't make more of. And so the time you're spending with us today is important. And so thank you for being here and being committed to serving women veterans.
Thank you. We will now have remarks by U.S. Senator Dick Durbin.
Hi, I'm Senator Dick Durbin. Thanks to the Cook County Department of Veterans Affairs for bringing the community together for this town hall meeting. For most of America's history, our armed forces were made up of men in uniform. Not anymore. Today, women make up more than 17% of our active duty force. I'm honored to serve the state of Illinois alongside my Hi, I'm Senator Dick Durbin. Thanks to the Cook County Department of Veterans Affairs for bringing the community together for this town hall meeting. For most of America's history, our armed forces were made up of men in uniform. Not anymore. Today, women make up more than 17% of our active duty force. I'm honored to serve the state of Illinois alongside my colleague and friend, Senator Tammy Duckworth, who draws from her own personal experience as a combat veteran to inform and inspire her work in the Senate. And your representation in the military is just as important. You made our military stronger. But as our armed services welcome more diversity, it means that our support systems and resources for veterans must also meet the needs of the populations that serve today. That is why events like this are so important. The least we can do to thank you for your sacrifices, make sure you have the resources you need to live successful, healthy, safe lives. I'm committed to making sure all veterans, especially our women veterans, are supported federally. Thank you again for your service.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have remarks by U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Hello everyone, it's Senator Tammy Duckworth. I am so sorry I couldn't be with you all in person today, but I'm glad I could be here virtually to help the Cook County Veterans Affairs Department celebrate Women's History Month today. This month celebrates the brilliant and resilient heroes who raised their voices, blazed their trails, and pushed our nation towards that more perfect union that our founders envisioned. The women who withstood hypocrisy, challenged racism, and overcame misogyny so that their daughters and their granddaughters could inherit the kind of nation they deserved. You know, I spent my entire life in male-dominated fields, first in the military and now in Congress. From flying helicopters overseas to passing bills in the Senate, I've learned time and again the good that comes from bringing a different perspective to the conversation. I was better able to lead my helicopter company when I embraced the fact that I wasn't just one of the boys, and I've become a better legislator since I became a mom, passing bills that look out for working parents in ways I never would have thought of before I had my own two beautiful daughters. Time after time, we've seen that elevating women only makes this nation stronger. But of course, our work is far from done. This country will never be at its best as long as 51% of the population has to keep ducking our heads to avoid knocking against the glass ceiling. And this nation will never reach the heights it should as long as we keep siloing women's issues in the ways that we're used to. Because women's issues don't start and end at equal pay. Healthcare is a women's issue. The economy is a women's issue. Voting rights is a women's issue. And yes, national security is a women's issue too. You name it, and it's a women's issue. So while we may still have a lot of work to do, we're stronger when we do that work together. And no matter what, you can count on me to keep building on our progress and working to ensure those who are brave enough to serve receive the care and benefits they've earned. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the president of the United Women Veteran United. President of National Women's Veteran United. Sorry, I'm tired. Had to have a coffee. Ms. Rochelle Crump.
Good morning. Good morning. And thank you so much for the opportunity to have this time to say what I need to say for the people that I need to say it for. Did I say that right? Okay. Good. The first thing I'd like to do is to recognize you, ma'am, President Preckwinkle. Thank you so much because you're always here, you're always there for women veterans, and we certainly appreciate you. The same with you, Commissioner Miller, and also, ma'am, I could not get your last name straight.
Carmen's fine.
Carmen, thank you so much. We appreciate you also. And Director Prince, absolutely the best president.
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor, thank you so much for taking that trip here to Chicago. We wish we had known you were coming so that we could have shown you our center. I'd like to just ask those members from the National Women Veterans United, if you could stand up. These women of all branches of service, also they served in war, they served in peacetime. Organization, and we're the only women veterans center in the state of Illinois. We're located at 8620 South Pulaski Avenue, and basically we have outgrown our 4,000 square feet, and we're looking for another opportunity to expand that. And how do we expand that? We expand that by joining in with other organizations. Pretty much we know that we have opportunities all around the state of Illinois, and we certainly want to make sure that those that are in leadership are talking not just about us, but talking to us. Because a lot of times that is exactly what we see happening a long time. There are certain things that we're working on right now. We're always in a fight. Women veterans have been fighting for a long time. The fight is not over. The fight is genuine, but you know what? We're going to keep on fighting until we get those things that we need. And some of those things are about homelessness. We know that there's a lot going on all over the world, but here in Illinois, we know that we can do better, and we know that this leadership here has done everything that they can, and they continue to be a part of that process to make it right. So that's why I took the time to just acknowledge them, because they at least are out here trying to make it happen for us, and they're going full feet ahead to do so. So in our organization also, we're working on projects, and one of them is the Home Sweet Home Pro project. Patrick, thank you for coming out to support us today, because we need housing for those women. We actually get referrals from the Department of Veterans Affairs to help to actually put women in a hotel, because they don't have a place for them. We don't have great grants. We have small grants, we have pledges, we have fundraisers, all those things, because we want to make it work for those who we need to work for. And it's about time that we continue to stand up for what we believe in, and that includes having a congressional charter. Now, I'm a member of the of the American Legion, a lot of them are, VFW, all of those organizations, but what happens a lot of times is that they talk about us, but they don't talk to us. And one of the things is, through the state, actually, there is a bill. It's called the state charter. Well, that state charter has no parity in it for women veterans, not at all. And so we're working on that with legislators also. And as well, we want to make sure that we acknowledge those women back there in that police uniforms. Thank you, ladies. You do exactly what we do. And so we don't take that for granted. We know what you have to do when you have to do it. So thank you so much. I have a little notes here and I don't want to miss nothing. And so we want to make sure that we start working on our health as well. Those are one of the biggest things that we need the partnership with, is because of our health. Everybody needs to start working towards health. And I stand up here being one of those persons that when I look at myself and I know that I can do better, we all can do better with that, but we're dying also. So that's important, and our organization is working on that. Now, those are the grants that we do have. And Dr. Love, I call her Dr. Love. Dr. Love, we want to thank you so much for your hard work. We know that you are a true trooper. So thank you so much in all that you do. And we just want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. At this time, I would like to thank Madam President, Commissioner Miller, all of our distinguished guests, and we will take a 5-minute intermission. to allow our guests to do their thing. However, during this time, if you have registered as a speaker, or if you didn't register as a speaker and you would like to speak, please come and see me at the podium and I'll make sure that we get you guys checked in. So you got 5 minutes, and this is 5 real world minutes. And I ask you guys to come back in and we will get into the speaking portion. Thank you.